talk about Simon Pegg, though.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to talk about him for a second because I remember hearing in an interview that he was like bashing man children and stuff like that. But do you know what I'm talking about?
Very vaguely. I don't know if he's done that during the. Did he do that during the third Star Trek film?
It was something like that. He was talking about how, basically, I mean, I'm paraphrasing everything he said, but I mean, he was talking about how, people have become very, fanatic and crazy about, their childhood memories and things like that. Nostalgia is a big thing, right now.
Right.
Especially for like the 80's and that kind of thing. It's very popular and has been for a while. But I just wanted to defend Simon Pegg's honor on that because it's like, man, he was just speaking his mind about something at a particular time in his life. I mean, shit, he was probably at that point pretty tired of being typecasted and that kind of thing. So that's probably why he said it, number one. And number two, he's a fucking nerd and he knows he's a nerd. He's got to know it. Like, his most known films are all Edgar Wright movies, I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at his IMDb. It's all Edgar Wright films, and then the Star Trek film is the 4 movies he's known for on IMDb. So, basically, he was a co-writer on Space, which is a nerd-filled program as well, like tons of references to films and video games. I mean, there's a episode that's kind of got it's spliced together with Resident Evil in a way. It's very cool. But my point is, he's a fucking nerd and he knows it.
Yeah.
Sorry that was so long-winded, but I've been thinking about this.
Simon Pegg's a nerd. And he fucking knows it. Well,
he does. He knows it.
Yeah.
But he was a co-writer on Space, so it's like you have to have. I'm pretty sure he co-wrote the episode that I'm talking about with Resident Evil. So it's like he's a fucking nerd.
Yeah, he's always been, man. I don't know. I would say he's a geek.
Yeah, geek. Geek's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was throwing around the word nerd a lot. Let's not fixate on the word that I use. I mean, he is definitely a geek. Sure.
he knows some stuff about things, and the 80's culture thing. To me, that's why I don't like Stranger Things. I think we both we disagree. I know you.
Yeah, we do disagree on it. I don't. I agree that it totally preys on that whole nostalgia feel, but I accept that and I enjoy it. I think it's better than something like The Walking Dead, which is praised to hell and back, and it's just not that great. And that's just my opinion, but what I've seen of it, I'm just like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
this is unentertaining.
I don't know. It's like only watched the first season of Walking Dead, and that was it.
I've slept through the first season a couple times, I'm pretty sure.
But that was mainly because Frank Darabont did it, and I have the comics in digital form. I've only read like 20 of them, and I really enjoyed those.
Same here. I enjoyed the comics of what I read, and maybe that's why I have like unrealistic expectations for the show, and whenever I watch it, it's just a snooze fest, man. That's just my opinion on it, but it doesn't grab me. Certain TV shows, certain things grab a hold of me, and I really enjoy it, but that TV show is not one of them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I understand how it was written to be for the lowest common denominator.
Right.
And
it's kind of serialized in a way, a modern day serial. show, you know.
Because didn't the only reason I know this is because people fucking talk about it. Didn't the last season just wrap up like this season just ended like Sunday?
Dude, I have no idea. I really don't.
Luckily,
nobody talks to me about it, but every once in a while somebody tries to bring it up, and I'm just like, nope, I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you like it when Keegan or whatever that dude's name is? You know, that guy when he had the baseball bat. I'm just like, yeah, I don't watch it. So only reason,
yeah.
What when the people that do talk about it, that bring it up, say like they just kept saying, I don't know why I still watch this show. I don't know why I still watch it, but I do. You know, they just hope for it to get better. I don't know. Maybe it's what they're holding out for.
Probably. But I doubt it's going to get any better.
No.
Is there anything, let's see, I have no segue here. Simon Pegg's going to be in Ready Player One. So that's kind of cool. That's like another 80s filled book, you know, being adapted by, I think, Spielberg.
Well, I know, yeah, he's directing it, right? So, the only reason I watch that movie is because Spielberg generally does good movies. He hasn't done shit in the past, couple years. I did watch that movie about the Giants, or whatever they did. What the fuck was that called?
Was it like Box Trolls or some shit? I can't remember.
No, well, it's kind of like a serious adult. What the fuck was that? Because I remember he done War Horse, then he done the CGI movie about a giant that takes care of people. It might be just called that. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but
I have no idea.
Spielberg generally makes good movies. He's one of those guys where he's kind of like universally accepted as being pretty good at what he does.
Yeah. He is. He's really good at what he does.
He's made some stuff that people have seen, and it was pretty good.
Oh, was it the BFG?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the movie.
I don't know what the fuck that stands for, but the big fucking giant, we can say that.
Yeah, I think
it's the big friendly giant, probably.
Yeah, big font giant. He's really the big font.
Bigfoot giant. Because he's got big feet, I'm sure, because he's a giant. I mean, so it's a given. His feet will be large as well. But, yeah, Ready Player One, the commercials that I've seen for it, or trailers, what have you, they've been pretty fucking cool looking, if I do say so myself. I think it looks pretty decent.
Yeah, I remember seeing I watched the first teaser, and I watched the latest trailer too, but the teaser was better because you get to see Freddy Krueger and I think Jason.
Right.
Briefly
Right. I've got the book right here in front of me. I've been reading it, and it's a cool book. I'm only 110 pages in, and I've still got a decent chunk of the book left. But it's a fun, it's a fun idea. I've seen the idea before, but it's done really well in this book. So hopefully the adaptation is equally as good. I have decent expectations because, I mean, everyone involved, but you never know.
Yeah, only reason I know about that book is my cousin Daniel McFarland, he got a loot crate that had the book in it. And he's like, he didn't read it because he didn't have time. So I was like, I'll read it. And I only read 40 pages, and I liked it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to me, to finish a novel nowadays, it's basically got to be jerking me off while I'm reading it. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Novels are a commitment. It's
they are.
Sometimes they're grabbed by the boo-boo, and sometimes they're really good, but it's just the wrong time to read it because you're not in the mood to read something, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know what you mean. I've got a few books that.
What's the name of the guy that wrote the book?
I believe it's Ernest Cline.
Because he's on the Atari documentary that came out a couple years ago about the Atari cartridges being burnt, buried. He also...
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's all driving around in a DeLorean, like him and G.R.R. Martin. You know, the Game of Thrones guy, they're hanging out in the documentary.
George, I think, George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
Or whatever. He, yeah, I know what you're talking about. On the back of I was looking at the back of my copy of Ready Player One, and I think he's actually, the photo of Ernest Cline, he's standing in front of a DeLorean.
Yeah, he totally owns
it. So it's funny.
Like 100%, he flaunts it too. And I would as well.
Oh, I definitely would too. Speaking of DeLoreans, I could have swore that in this, there's a trailer,
yeah, the latest
for an update.
DeLoreans in it. Totally does.
Is it?
Yeah, there's totally DeLoreans in the new trailer that came out.
Oh, the new trailer for, I was going to bring up, Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, shit, man. I thought this was, yeah, I was talking about the trailer for Ready Player One. Like, there's like a DeLorean.
Yeah, there's a DeLorean in that, I'm pretty sure too. But the new Grand Theft Auto update, it's actually, coming out today. It's called the Doomsday Heist update. And, pretty sure there's going to be some fucking DeLoreans. They look like DeLoreans. Flying cars for sure. So, it's going to be insane. And there's going to be jetpacks.
Oh man, bringing it back. About time.
Yeah, they're bringing it back. And it's pretty, I'm actually about to turn my PlayStation on and let that update download.
Dude, okay. Now we're, on the subject of Grand Theft Auto 5. Have you looked at anything or followed the story about the Sasquatch in Grand Theft Auto 5?
Oh, no, not really. Is there? I know that there's some borderline creepypasta and stuff like that about it, if I'm not mistaken.
But see, I don't have GTA 5, but I do watch a lot of I guess you call them Mythbuster video game channel things, and this one turns out to be very true. Sasquatch is definitely in Grand Theft Auto 5. It has something to do with you taking the peyote buds and turning into different animals.
Oh yeah, I've never done it. I've never even attempted to encounter Bigfoot before.
What I was getting at, I mean, I'm not going to explain the whole backstory of it. It's just insane that whole rumor started with San Andreas, and Rockstar are so fucking cool about, their development that they actually put Sasquatch in the game, but it's got to be through absurd circumstances, weather events and everything, for you to actually see Sasquatch.
Right.
It's so crazy. It's like that adds so much to the game, the lore of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, even if you don't play Grand Theft Auto, I feel like it is an honest and serious achievement in video games. I mean, there are video games that have 1 to 10 maybe game types. This video game has so many game types for one, and and you can play on the map with up to 30 people, I think, in a lobby. I mean, it's an accomplishment. Like I say, I've never played a game that is this kind of massive in scale, as far as online goes. I mean, they could incorporate some cooler shit, and I think they're trying. But I mean, as it stands, it's an accomplishment. It's pretty ridiculous. I've never played anything so grand in scale.
See, my only beef with the GTA games was the combat. The lock-on systems from actually
once you get used to it, it's really not so bad. But I understand.
But in Grand Theft Auto 5, they got it right. To me that is probably the definitive Grand Theft Auto game, Grand Theft Auto 5, because there's nothing wrong with that game. Everything works properly.
Are you talking about 4 or 5?
I'm talking about 5. 5 rules.
Oh, Oh yeah, it does.
Because, that's why I don't, put Grand Theft Auto anywhere near my top 10. It's because, yeah, this is great. You can drive around and steal people. Oh, why is it so awkward to shoot your gun? A very basic component. Why is it so shitty? And they finally fixed Grand Theft Auto 5. So Grand Theft Auto 5 reaches the top 10 now for me because of that.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. This update, it's going to take 45 minutes, it says. It's a 2 gigabyte update. I don't even have hardly any money. Like $1 million. But it costs money, baby. But I don't know what I'm going to buy. So I wonder what's actually in the update.
Do you have the base model PS4? Like the first one that came out?
No, it's not the first model that came out. It's like the second or third iteration or something. Like, I think it's supposed to have, like, it saves better on energy than the first model, and it's got a matte. It's all matte finish, but it's it's still boxed like the first PS4 iteration, but it's not two-tone like the tops of the OG PS4s. I believe they had like a slick side on one side of the top of it.
Because I'm really thinking about picking one up now because they are super cheap because there's like 4 different versions of it. And the ones I see around here at pawn shops are like $100. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, you should look into it. And then that game Axiom Verge that I've been bringing up a lot, or that I think I've talked to you about it a couple times.
So are you playing the PS4 version right now, or
no, but it is for PS4, so you could get it on your PS4 if you ever bought one. But it's I've been playing it on PC. I torrented it a while ago. And installed it and everything, and I just didn't play it. It lay dormant on my computer. And then I started playing it the other day. It's been a couple days now, and I think I'm like 6 hours into it. And got like 30% map completion right now.
Oh shit.
I'm probably gonna try to 100% it.
Yeah, so Axiom Verge, it's a Metroidvania kind of game developed by Thomas Happ or something.
Yep. Yeah, he, as far as I know, he did everything involved with it. The music and everything, and the music is fucking sick. I actually have it on a flash drive to give to, Alan or you next time I see you guys and we're around one of your computers. We're gonna plug that bitch in.
So,
because, the soundtrack is super dope. You'll like it.
So, like, what makes this stand apart from the billion other Metroidvania style games?
Oh, I mean, nothing really sets it too far apart, but the soundtrack is, in my opinion, phenomenal. The graphics and, like, the graphical style and everything, very, very, top notch, very cool looking. The boss fights are pretty fucking difficult, or can be, on normal mode, which is what I'm playing it on for my first playthrough. I meant to put it on easy, but it went to normal, so I was like, well, fuck it, no turning back now.
Oh wow.
But the boss that I was stuck on is called fucking Gear Tab or some shit. It's like GIR tab. I don't know. But he was a pain in the ass. I sent you a photo of him. He's a fucking dick. And his pattern was hard as hell, but I beat him after many times of dying, probably 10 times at least.
Yeah, it looks like it's almost like a fire scorpion.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. But he has a spot on his stomach that's yellow, but his stomach is like on his backside. So you have to shoot him, you have to duck and shoot underneath him with, like, you get 2 different kinds of guns that are pretty much the only ones that are useful in this battle. And one of them shoots and spreads, like, from the middle projectile, it'll spread and so you can just duck and shoot, and hopefully you'll hit its stomach. It's got like a strange pattern on the gun, so hopefully you'll hit it. If not, then the only other option is a projectile that you have to detonate. So you have to like duck and shoot underneath him and then time the projectile. So whenever it goes under his stomach, you have to hit a button again to damage him. So it's tedious. It's so tedious and hard, but fucking I did it. So on to the next boss, on to the next fucking room, I guess.
Yeah, that's all about is, beating the one boss, maybe get a new ability, and then going all the way back to that spot to get to, because you have the ability to double jump or slide or something,
Yeah, I mean, your character also, the really cool side of this game is that since you play it primarily, I've been playing it with my PS4 controller through a program on my computer, but since you play it with a PS4 controller, either on PC, you can play it however you want, but you can play it on PS4 as well. Anyways, it utilizes pretty much every button, and it's extremely fluid, the control is. So, I mean, that's another thing really to, I guess, talk about as far as gameplay wise goes. I mean, I think that you would probably enjoy it if you enjoy Metroidvania at all.
Yeah, I like it when they mix it up. Like, I was a big fan of Pegg's story, because that's kind of a similar situation with the dude doing everything.
See, I downloaded that and only played a little bit of it because I think it was playing funky on my computer, or it just wanted to act weird. So
yeah,
I think I ended up removing it.
There's like 3 different versions of it. The one I had was the second version, which was just updated graphics, but not in 2.5D. Does that make any sense? It's just the sprites are in high resolution, so it didn't push my hardware a lot. See, I went into a lot of subreddits reading about, because, if you have a potato laptop, what would be the best thing to play for that? And that's where, K-Story pops up a lot. And this game called Enter the Gungeon, it's a roguelike game. So, yeah, I need to get a new laptop, but for now, if I just want to play
me too.
16-bit like dungeon crawler / Metroidvania games, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
And most of them, they're DRM free most of the time too. The games that you find.
Oh yeah. What does that mean?
I think it's digital rights management or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's what that is. DRM free means basically, if you have it, they're not going to give you a hassle about it. They don't know. They don't want to know. They don't care about how you got it.
Oh, okay. I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's basically freeware or shareware.
Right. Okay. Very cool. I did not know that term.
Yeah. The PC's always been good about that, because what do you think about it? What do you think your first emulator ever came from? Was a PC. So, this whole quote-unquote PC stuff's been rampant for decades.
Right.
So they got to the point where they just don't really care about it. Unless you buy, like, say, like Destiny 2 for the PC. That's different.
Right.
It's some,
Right, unless it's a very, very well-known developer or something like that, or some type of well-known program,
Yeah, because most of the time these developers are just happy someone's playing their shit.
Oh yeah.
Like
definitely.
They're like the new rock and roll guys. Like, it's like they put out an album, only the difference is it's their game.